Hey, welcome to my channel, Cooking with Manual Focus, and today we're going to be smoking some chuck roasts. I call them my mini briskets because they're more like a flat of a brisket, but they still absolutely delicious. And especially if you don't want to cook a whole brisket, you don't want to do the trimming or whatnot, chuck roast will do the trick. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get you in the game. So we're going to get the smoker heated up. We're going initially 250 degrees. We're going to get these chuck roast seasoned, and then we're going to get you in the game. Now I'm working with 2 chuck roasts. This is about 6 pounds of meat. Now you do see some slight oxidation because I had this in my freezer, but still perfectly good meat, and we're gonna be in the game. Now I'm going in with a coffee ground barbecue rub. Now let me tell you, if you never used a coffee ground barbecue rub before, it's absolutely delicious. So it tenderizes the meat, it gives it this nice earthy tone, and then when you bite into it, it's slightly sweet. Fam, let me tell you, try it out. And if you want to recreate a coffee ground rub, let me give you some tips. You want to go with a dark roast for beef, and then you want to go, of course, with like some kosher salt, some garlic, some onion powder, and then you can put some other spices in there if you like. Now you can see here, this is what makes a chuck roast easy to smoke. So you don't really have to trim it unless you got like some hanging fat or whatnot. And then all you got to do is season it up. And then when you season it, you want to make sure that you season it liberally. And then this is another reason why I love this coffee ground rub, is it creates this nice crispy dark bark. So if you ever had an issue with bark, a coffee ground rub is what you want to go with. Now shout out to my boy GhostDog54 for recommending this video. Hey, like I said, fam, if you guys got anything that you want me to cook, hit me in the comments and I'll try to get it to it as quick as possible, because without you guys, the Focus fam, this channel wouldn't be possible. So thank you guys so much for your recommendations. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Now let's get back to this chuck roast. You see it right here, seasoned up right. You can see the kosher salt, you can see the coffee grounds, a little bit of pepper on it. Hey, we gonna be in the game, fam. Now it's time to put our brisket style chuck roast on this pellet grill. Now initially we're going 250 degrees so we can get enough smoke flavor on this chuck roast, and then we're gonna let it ride out. But before we do, we're gonna go back and hit it with that barbecue rub for any spots that, you know, may have been bare or that we missed or just need to touch up. Now we're gonna close this top, because if you looking, you ain't cooking. Now we're looking at about 2 hours on these chuck roasts right here. And as you see, hey, they look pretty good. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spritz this with a little apple cider vinegar. Now what this apple cider vinegar is gonna do is gonna help this bark form. It's gonna keep this chuck roast moist. Now I know the general concern of a pellet grill is it doesn't have the smokiness of an offset smoker. Now what spritzing would do is it would help elevate that smoke profile on anything that you're smoking. So if you're having trouble with, you know, a smoky profile, spritzing is what you will want to do. All right, so we're about 5 hours in, and this is how we look. Now what I want to do is I'm gonna spritz this one more time. But what I want to do is I want to get me a little temperature reading, see where we are. So we're sitting about 133, 134. This one, 136 in this one. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna spritz this one more time. What I'm gonna do for the rest of the cook is I'm gonna put me a water pan in here. It's gonna create some humidity. It's gonna keep these moist so they don't dry out on me, but then I don't have to spritz them. And we'll be in the game, fam. We'll let this ride out. I'm not gonna wrap them, and I'm team no wrap now, and we're gonna let these ride out until they ready to go. So like I said, about 133, we'll let them ride out for a couple more hours until they come to about 195 or so, and then we'll bring them in rest and let cut them up. All right, fam, so we sit at about hour number 6 on this smoke here. I'm gonna show you where we are. So we sitting at about 141. Now what I'm gonna do is, since we got enough smoke on these chuck roasts. I'm gonna increase my temperature. I'm gonna go 300 so we can let these ride on out and get tender. Now, if you want to, hey, you can let these ride low and slow at 250 if you like. But like I said, I think I got enough smoke on these chuck roasts. We'll get them to about like 195 or so. Take them out, let them rest, and then we'll be in the game, fam. Alright, fam, this has been cooking for about 2 hours. Now, to be honest with you, what I'm testing for is tenderness and not necessarily temperature. When you're cooking just a flat, you want to go pretty much on the lower side, because that point, if you got a brisket, that point needs a little bit more time to cook, time for that fat to render down. But with this chuck roast right here, again, you want to go for tenderness because you don't want to overcook it. Now, you already seen it's coming in and out like butter. Hey, we in the game. So what we'll do is we go ahead and pour these, and we're going to let these rest. We're going to be in the game, fam. All right, we let these chuck roasts rest. Now it's time. Take this foil off. Yes, sir. Hey, we got to slice into this, but let me bring this up to you. Let me let you see it. Hey, yes, sir. Look at that right there. All right, now it's time to slice into this chuck roast. Yes, sir. This is what you want right here, fam. You got your nice little chuck roast smoked like a brisket. And let's get this bad boy a taste test. All right, fam. Now it's time to get this brisket style chuck roast a taste test. Take a look at this right here. Yes, sir. Hey, nice, tender. And I'm gonna tell you that coffee rub that I use, hey, it'll get you in the game. I used it before on that smoked tri-tip that I did. If you haven't seen that video, hey, check that out. But without further ado, hey, cheers, fam. Hey, let's get this a taste test. That right there. Ooh. That's absolutely delicious. Hey, it's tender, flavorful. Now, if you got a taste for a brisket or you want to practice, check this out. A chuck roast will get you in the game. First of all, you don't have to trim it. Hey, all you got to do is season it, cook it right, you in the game. Hey, but I'm going in for another bite. It's absolutely delicious chuck roast. Hey, that's good. Yes, sir. Now, if you're new to my content and you like this video, hey, go ahead, smash that like button, and don't forget to subscribe. Then share this video with your family and friends and tell them Cooking with Manual Focus got you in the game. Now, for the Focus family that's been rolling me for a while, hey, hold on one second. I'm about to smash into this brisket style chuck roast, and we'll see you guys on the next recipe. Peace.